Hello, welcome to the Wealth starting line. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe.
Today, let's talk about a Wall Street legend whose secret to success basically flips everything we think we know about winning. Turns out, it's not about being the smartest person in the room, not even close. It's about mastering something way, way harder. Okay, let's just start with this number, 781%. And to be clear, this wasn't some paper trading competition. This was a real money return in a single year during the U.S. Investing Championship. We're talking real capital under the brightest lights. And you might be thinking, okay, maybe he just got lucky one year, right? Well, he won the whole thing 9 times. 9! That kind of consistent elite performance is it's almost unheard of. It wasn't a fluke. So, the natural question is, was this guy, Marty Schwartz, just some kind of market wizard? A 1 in a billion genius? I mean, that's the obvious conclusion, isn't it? But the truth, and this is what he said himself, is actually way more surprising, and frankly, way more useful for the rest of us. And there it is, straight from the man himself. I didn't win by being smart. I won by discipline. That one sentence is the key that unlocks this entire story. But it just raises a huge question, doesn't it? Where did that kind of discipline even come from? Because as you're about to see, it wasn't something he was born with. It was something he earned the hard way. You know, to really get where that ironclad discipline came from, we have to go back, way back. Back to a time when Marty Schwartz he was failing. A lot. His greatest strength wasn't born from some natural talent. It was forged in the fire of constant failure. This was not an overnight success story. I mean, look at this timeline. It was a decade-long grind. At college in the 60s, he was totally overwhelmed. He got a 37 in physics and a 42 in calculus. He said he didn't know grades went that low. Then he joined the Marines, and that's where he got his first real taste of discipline. After that, he spent almost a decade as a Wall Street analyst, making good money, but he felt totally lost. And finally, in 1978, he just hit a wall. He decided life was no longer a dress rehearsal. He literally shut his office door, and he dedicated himself to building a real, repeatable system that would change everything. He had this incredible quote about his time at Amherst. "What didn't kill me made me stronger. This place tried to kill me for about a year and a half." Think about that. He learned how to persevere not by winning, but by just surviving, by refusing to quit when everything and everyone was telling him he just wasn't good enough. That resilience became the bedrock of his entire career. So, after all that struggle, he locks himself in a room to build his great system. And you're probably thinking, it must have been some kind of super complex, genius-level algorithm, right? Some secret formula? The reality was the complete opposite. Its power wasn't in complexity. It was in radical simplicity and his insane commitment to actually following it. At the end of the day, it comes down to 2 totally different ways of seeing the market. On one side, you have the crowd. And the crowd wants to be a hero, right? They try to predict the exact top, the exact bottom. It's an ego game. Schwartz decided to play a different game entirely. It was based on simple physics. An object in motion tends to stay in motion. So his rule was simple. Stop predicting and start following. Ride the wave. Don't try to be the guy who stops it. And this was the system. You might laugh at how simple it is. He called it his red light, green light system. All he used was a simple 10-day moving average. If the price was above that line, green light. He was only allowed to look for buys. If the price was below the line, red light. He was only allowed to think about selling. That's it. See, the genius wasn't the indicator. Any idiot can put a line on a chart. The genius was in the discipline to obey the signal without question, every single day. Okay, so having a simple system for the market, that's actually the easy part. It really is. The real battle, the one that separates the legends from everybody else, isn't fought on a computer screen. It's fought in the 6 inches between your ears. It's all about mastering your own psychology. So let me ask you something. Just think about it for a second. When do you think an investor is in the most danger of making a huge, catastrophic mistake? Is it after a big loss? Is it when the market is crashing and everyone's panicking? The answer is probably not what you think. This right here, this might be the single most important lesson from his entire career. My biggest losses tend to come right after my biggest wins. Just let that sink in. It wasn't failure that was his biggest enemy. It was success. Winning is what created the perfect storm for his worst mistakes. And here's why that happens. It's a classic mental trap called overconfidence bias. And we've all felt this, right? After you get a few wins in a row, you start to feel invincible, like you finally cracked the code. Now, your actual ability hasn't changed at all, but your perceived ability just skyrockets. And what happens next? You get cocky. You start bending the rules, taking on way more risk, thinking there's no way you can lose. As he put it, when you get too full of yourself, the next thing that's coming is a school bus down the road, and sometimes it has your name for the route on the destination.
So how did he fight that? How do you fight your own ego when it's screaming that you're a genius? Well, he built a toolkit, a practical, mechanical set of tools. He used a pre-trade checklist to force himself to make sure every single decision was based on his system, not on a feeling. Before he hit the button, he'd stop and ask, do I really want to own this position? He learned to completely separate his ego from the outcome, realizing that making money was way more important than being right. And above all, he knew the market wasn't his opponent. He was.
And this quote just hits the nail on the head. It's a painful truth. Ego is so destructive because people will literally hold on to a losing investment, bleeding money, not because they think it'll turn around, but because selling means they have to admit they made a mistake. For so many people, the emotional pain of being wrong is worse than the financial pain of losing money. Schwartz knew that was the most dangerous trap of all.
So let's pull all of this together and try to reframe how we think about this. The word rules can sound, restrictive, right? Like a limitation. But what Marty Schwartz's entire life teaches us is the complete opposite. His rules weren't a cage, they were a shield. Now, I want to be really clear about something here. Most of us are not short-term traders, and frankly, we probably shouldn't be. That style takes a ton of time and mental energy. But his mindset, that is absolutely universal. It doesn't matter if you're a day trader or a long-term retirement investor buying index funds, the psychological enemies are exactly the same. And this is what it all boils down to. We have to completely redefine what rules are for. They aren't a cage to restrict you. They are a system that your calm, rational self designs to protect you from your emotional, impulsive self. They are a shield to save you from your own worst instincts, from your ego, from your fear, and from your greed. So I'll leave you with this one final thought, a question to ask yourself. The next time you go to make a financial decision, whether it's buying something, selling something, or just holding on for dear life, ask yourself honestly, what is actually in control right now? Is it a predefined rational rule that you created, or is it an emotion you're feeling in the heat of the moment? The answer to that question could be the difference between everything.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. See you next time.